Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you how I worked on one of my recent projects. It became quite popular with a lot of downloads. So I want to share how I created a certain part of it, so that you can also create such animations. So let's not wait, as always, and let's dive into After Effects. I really want to share with you how I created this project, this particular part. Here we have a star. Text animation. Then transitioning the text into a shape like this. Next we have this kind of animation, this bulge, and then transitioning to the final text. Some website of yours, for example, or something like that. So to start, let's create a new composition, 4K, lasting about 10 seconds. Any title. First, let's write the text. I'm going to use the Helvetica font. The size, I think somewhere. Let's add a solid. We right click, solid. It will be black for now. Yes. Next we add the typewriter effect. Keyframes. 20 seconds. We highlight it. The animation graph is 85 in Motion Tool. So we get this kind of animation. Next we need to create a reveal of the text, like it will be gradient. Let's add the gradient ramp right away. Not ramp, ramp. Okay. Let's add gradient. Colors. It will be quiet. Like this. And a little bit. Light. Let it be like that. Next, we need to create a reveal of our text to white text. To do this, we'll pre-compose this text. So, I forgot to move the gradient. I should have clicked Move All Attributes when I created the pre-compose. Ctrl-Shift-C. So here we have the animation. Next, we create a rectangle. We will create approximately like this, so that it essentially covers all the text. A mask of any color. Just let it be something neutral. We name the mask person. And we need to draw a real mask on our shape. For this, we also use the rectangle tool. Select Create Mask. And leave a little part like this, for example, so that our text is hidden. Something like this mask. We open its parameters in Pfizer, let's say 200. For example, 250, let it be. And it turns out, yeah, we need to slightly increase our shape. So we have blurred edges. We duplicate this text, our text composition, and we delete the gradient ramp. We have white text here, and at the bottom we have gradient text. Next, the first thing we do is, let's do it so that it's visible. We make our text alpha mate to the mask, meaning if we remove our shape mask, we'll have the text. This way it hides. And now we do a second text on the mask, but now we do it alpha invert mate. So it will be the same, just inverted. And it turns out that we forgot to turn on the text, the second white one. Let's turn on the text. And it turns out that when we remove our shape the mask. Here, you get this effect. Cool. Next you need to animate our mask by position. We had the text animation at the 20-second mark. Yeah, Typewriter. We're doing it pretty much the same way. The same animation graph. But here, we move to the right. About like this. What do we get? Let's move it a bit. So we end up with a bit of our gradient visible, and then our white text appears. This is the animation. Yes, then we create our star, polystar, line. We simply call it star at 1. Then we add a subtle effect. We don't add any effect. We set 4 points carefully and precisely. We set it like this, without any additional effects. Radius. Over with the radius. Here's something like this. And then let's increase our star. 250 approximately. Let it be something like this. Let's even make it a bit bigger. To make our text, if I were inside the star, next we need to make it so that the line scales when our star shrinks, so that the line doesn't change. For this, we have an expression. I'll definitely leave it for you. Or you can Google stroke with expression, and it will be there. And we insert it into the stroke. In stroke with the ultimate. Here's the expression. And now we see that if we increase or decrease, the stroke remains constant. So, since we had 2 there, the parameter will be 2. So let it be like this. Next we create the effect using trim path. Let's add trim path. Here, we set the value to 20. And for the offset we write with Alt on our bell. We write time multiplied by z plus 25, just like that. And we will get this kind of animation. Next we go into stroke taper. We set the value for start lens and end lens to 50 to have a little blur, maybe even a bit less than 35. And we will have this kind of blur, and this is a constant animation. Next, what we do is, we duplicate our star 3 times. We press E in English twice. And where it says time, we write in the second line, plus 90, in the third plus 180, the third plus 180, the third plus 180. So, plus 90 again, and in the last one, we write 270, which means plus 90 to the previous value, and we get this kind of animation. And also, we can copy our gradient. There, on the first star. Let's do it like this and copy it to all the others so that we have... There was some color. Okay. Let's leave this animation for now. Next, let's move on to the next animation. Let's do it for now. That's all. Let's do it like this. We'll cut it. It will somehow remain, and the next animation is in... We will have this transition to the text. Let's remember. So we will have this kind of text animation, a transition into that little thing. So then, what are we going to do? Let's drop it Let's draw it. Let's go into the text composition. Actually, we select the pen tool. And we start by drawing. So we highlight our text and draw the mask right at the beginning of our text. Because our text will move smoothly with the shift, somewhere around here to the end of the text. Then, where it's moving to, there, here for example, and like this here. So, something like that. Let's add another point. Maybe here, no, let it be. So there will be some kind of mask like this. I think this can be deleted, and we will use the vertex tool to make a smooth start like this. So the next step will be to create a shape. Let's move to our main animation composition. Let's create a shape. Ellipse, fill, fill. Let's zoom in a little to see. The sizes? Oh, that's too much. Gradient, ramp. Again, not Trump. Let's remember this. In today's situations, we need to remember. So let's hit a circle on a person. Let's change the colors to some. Like this. Then we add effect, go, value, nulla. There are about 320 pieces here for now. And composite in front. So this is what we have. We'll also make it so that it doesn't disappear. Our gradient disappearing. Our gradient. I didn't run away here. Took on fail. And we'll copy this expression by right-clicking an end ramp as well. So now let's adjust the position of our gradient, like this here, and here. It will be gradient. So what do we need to do next? Next, we need to take the same mask that we drew here. Mask, path. Let's copy it, and we'll paste it into web position. So for now it's like this. Alright, now let's fix everything. And here, let's animate our text. Let's open the text. Path options. Mask. And here we have this thing already. So we will animate first margin. At this moment. First margin. And to the end. Oh, actually, we will animate from here, from this point, and somewhere there. Like this. Like this is the animation. Let's set the animation graph like this for now. So, let's see what we have. It turned out like this, but let's tweak the possible mask a bit. Here's the animation that came out. Maybe we should make this one rounder too. It won't work because then it will look a bit off. Just a little can it be moved just a little like this here? Yeah. Ups. Convert. Oh, there will be some kind of little thing like that. Yeah, and let's move the first margin. Let's fix it because our text isn't aligned properly anymore. And we'll fix this little thing, okay? Everything's great. Like this, nice and smooth. Our text is moving, and now what do we have going on? And here it turns out to be some kind of nonsense. And why does it turn out to be nonsense? Because something went wrong. We probably added some little dot, but we don't need it. Yes, it will be as long as we fix it later, if anything. It's not that important. This is the kind of animation we have for our text. And now we need this text animation, or rather our mask. Where is it? We'll copy it one more time. We'll delete this. It turned out to be not what we wanted. So, let's place it in position. So let's see what we have so far, and we'll also create an animation graph. Let's see what we have going on. Text. Let's continue the text. Oh no, our text is going off track. Then we need to move this little thing right here. This is where our animation will start. And we'll move our shape to the beginning. It seems like it's at the beginning. In short, we have this kind of animation. Oh, and we forgot the size. Size from up to 850. Let's go with it. We'll try. Maybe it'll be enough. And here we have it. Maybe just a little bit. Let's go. Like this. Like this. We're determining the middle, yes, of our speed graph. Right around here. And here we need to cut from Alt and the bracket. We're cutting this side, and here we're cutting all of this. So that we have it right on the core. At the moment we had a transition, like this kind of thing. Our animation for the shape. And we have something here, something went wrong. And we need to cut our mask. The mask for the gradient so that the color doesn't get filled in. That's how it should be. I think we need a bit more move. Move our shape a bit to the start. Another position a bit to the right. Alright, let it be that. Maybe one frame will save us if we roll back. In short, this is the kind of thing we end up with. So, what's next for us? We forgot we had this scale here for everything. And then our star disappears. Let's do the scale all. This, 0. We have the scale there. Let's open the scale. Let's rename it to S1. So we understand that this is the scale. And there will be an animation like this. 150. Let it be. To at 100. We open the graph F9. Night. Like, we'll make it as an ending. And we'll just move this thing here. Too far. Then we'll make another S like that, and we'll attach the text to it, our text. The mask 2, S2. And here we'll set the value not like and with 150, and for example 125. If we had a smaller animation, and here let's make it bigger. To have a bigger difference, more dynamics. Like that. And next, we need the scale to be strong. In short, same animation as in that next animation, just for our star. So, that second scale is. So let's see where our animation starts, right about here. But here, and let's add this first scale again. Highlight it, add another 0, and write S with 3, and we animate the scale from 100 to 0, and we do the same animation. Animation graph 85. And here's what we get, like a little zoom in and zoom out, or the core of the removal, and then the animation almost doesn't stop because we have this one overlap, this moment, this part. And then when the text transition happens, there's a bit, too little dynamics here. But whatever, I'm just showing you how it is. I've done it all. Of course, I spent a lot longer on that than what I'm showing you now. Yes, and at the moment, somewhere here, it must be. This one. Here's this animation. To do this, let's create a new composition. Let's call it scene 1. Scene 1, for example. Let's write start motion. Raw. Dua tutorial. No, that's too long. Let's just call it motion RAM. Yes. Let's pre-compose. So, we've composed our text. Next, we'll trim it a bit to fit the composition size. Oh yes, let's trim it to fit the composition size. Yeah, more or less. Next, we need to position it. I think we should increase the text a bit. Next, we need to place the text at the bottom and the top, so we add the CC Reptile effect, and we move it to the right. Oh, we need to increase the size a bit. Just like this, to the right side, to the left side. And we'll duplicate this text. The composition at the top. And one composition at the bottom. Next, we need to animate it. That's it. Let's set the position. Let's put it at... We'll set it to 2 seconds. So let's animate these two. We'll animate everything to the right first. And then this one and this one. This is the bottom and top text. Let's animate it a bit more to add more dynamism. Let's set the same animation graph. I think it will be fine. We'll have an effect like this. Here's the effect. Solid. Let's give it some gradient. Something random like that. So we'll add text to these two texts, or black, a dark color, something to make our text stand out. We'll add it to this one. Here's the gradient ramp, we'll add that too. Here, we'll make it a bit bigger. And so, next, we need to create an effect that looks like embossing. For this, create an adjustment layer. Let's name it something like PFX, for example, and we add the bulge effect. We're adding the bulge effect. Like this. Yeah, it started. A bit of distortion. Like this. With this effect, you can see it a little bit. If it's like this, then it's not very visible. And we'll get an effect like this. Let's also draw a mask on this text. So, a mask like this. Oh, actually, not on the text. We need to do it again. New adjustment. Blur. Force motion blur. Approximately random values. We'll be adding a bit of speed. And we draw it. The mask. Like this. And we invert it. We're doing for the mask fizzer. So we do it this way. I think we actually need to draw a bit more of the mask. Next, we need to insert this scene here at its highest speed on her at its highest speed. It's right here. Somewhere here. And there will be a transition right into the text. This is the animation. And it shouldn't end here for us. Animation. So at this moment, the animation almost doesn't end. And at this moment, we need to start doing the second animation. So here we need to do it Bulge. So here let's do it like this even. Let's add all our text to 0. Actually, not like that. Let's create a 0 so that it's in the center, and this will be our scale. Scale, we attach it to S1. Let's animate the scale. For example, let's put it at 50 for now. Let's add this down. Not working. We already have the text, it'll disappear. No problem. What text do we end up with? We have here up and here down. That's too much, it turns out. No. We're skipping this. So there will be this kind of animation for the scale. And Bulge. We also need to animate. Also animate. Bulge. And somewhere the moment, the biggest, right here at the top. Here we should have a transition to the text. So we're cutting this part. We can even cut it somewhere here. So the animation let's take this solid. Let's put it here. And we write, for example, motion RAM. Or was it? Or too much? Okay, motionram.com. Although there isn't anything like that on the site yet, maybe it will be available later. So, and let's center it. And we'll make the animation a bit more precise. This is where we end up. The text animation will come out here. And the second key is right here. So we move here, and the timeline also transitions to the same point, like in a different composition. Here's a little life hack, and we do it here. Let's do 85. Here, for example, 125, the same animation graph. And let's see what we have coming out. Oh, I forgot to trim it. Yes. Let's take a look. What animation is coming out right now? Like this. We can even move one frame to the right. Or even two. Let's do it. Two is too much, just a little back to one. And here, we need to do something like this. So we have the text, so it doesn't stop, but continues to move. It's highlighted, we add 0. And we animate by scale. By scale. Also, for example, 80. Too much. Nice. And then F9. And let's look at these graphs so that we have such an intersection. a small one. You can highlight right here and move it like this. So, like this, but we should probably make it linear, it will be better. Oh. Here, almost unnoticeable. Maybe play around a bit more, it would be good. An almost unnoticeable transition. Let's see what it was. Of course, this option turned out better. For me, when I was working on this project for sale, I spent a lot longer on it. I did it for about a week, and here I am literally there in probably half an hour or so. I showed how to create such an animation. And here's the result we got. Friends, thank you all who watched. Subscribe. I see that a large number of people are watching. About 70% of you are watching me and are not subscribed. This is real. Motivates. In the last video, I asked you to subscribe. About 100 people subscribed. This is it's more fun to when you just made a video and no one subscribes and no one really likes it. So right after that, I was really motivated to shoot this useful video for you. Don't forget to subscribe and give a like. And as always, see you next time.